House Speaker Mike Johnson gave his first floor speech of his speakership yesterday, repeating GOP talking points on the bipartisan Senate border bill.
A new authority would be created in the law so the president can, quote, shut down the border once daily crossings exceed 5,000 a day. Okay, right. You heard that right. Okay, so it is illegal to cross our border, but apparently we're concocting some sort of deal to allow the president to shut down the border after 5,000 people break the law. Why is it 5,000? If you add that up, that'd be 1 million more illegals into our country every year before we take remedial measures. It's madness.
Except for the part where what Speaker Johnson is saying is not true. In part, according to negotiators who are crafting the bill's text, any migrant who is caught crossing the border illegally would be detained, and their asylum claims would be decided while they are in custody, ending the catch and release protocol. If they were to fail their asylum claim interview, they would be removed from the country within 15 days. Just, FYI. Joining us now, Democratic Congressman Henry Cuellar of Texas. His district covers a portion of the U.S.-Mexico border. It's good to have you on, sir.
Congressman, just talk about right now, we'll get to the bill in a second, but just talk about the scope of the crisis on the border.
Certainly we've seen large numbers. We saw what happened in December where we're having 10 to 12,000 people a day. Now it's about 4,500 people a day. And the reason is we didn't build a new border wall. We didn't add border patrol. Congress didn't act on this. What happened was is Mexico started taking people off the train, started returning people back to the southern border. They actually have more National Guard and immigration officers than we have border patrol at our border. So what Mexico does has an impact on it. So that's part of the equation we need to look at. It's not only what we do at the border, but trying to get our allies like Mexico to enforce our immigration laws.
Congressman, good morning. So some of what we're hearing, no one has seen the text of this bill, we should remind everyone. So even Speaker Johnson doesn't know exactly what's in it over on the Senate side. But some of the tidbits that we're hearing and the themes were coming out of it, it does sound, and that's according to Republicans on the Senate side, like one of the strongest, most conservative immigration bills we've seen in a long time, and something that people like Mike Johnson have been asking for a long time. So is it your assessment that your Republican colleagues in the House are acting in good faith? Many people have suggested that they're operating on the orders of Donald Trump, and Speaker Johnson, in fact, has said himself that he talks to Donald Trump constantly about this bill. Do you think you have good faith partners in the Republican Party on this issue?
Certainly some of them are not acting on policy. They're acting on politics. Because how can you reject the bill that you haven't read? Nobody has seen the text. I think they're trying to finish that text. So how do you reject it? And that's what's amazing. You cry wolf and say there's a crisis. And then finally, when you get one of the toughest border security bills in generations, they reject it because one person told them, no, it's not good for my election. It helps Biden. And they're rejecting something they haven't read. And on top of that, the last 2 years on Homeland, I sit as the ranking Homeland Appropriations, the subcommittee for Homeland, we've added $2.5 billion to CBP for new border patrol. Every single Republican, except for two that are still in the House, voted no. So they said no to money, and they're saying no to policy at this time.
Congressman, as we see many mayors are now saying that they cannot handle the influx of migrants into their cities, Chicago, L.A., New York, because your governor is sending migrants there. And we just had a brutal attack by migrants on New York City police officers. Do you think that if the Democrats used the fact that we are out of control in places and now there are criminal attacks would move the law and order party to at least deal with a border, some kind of border legislation?
Yes, sir. That's a very good point. Some of us that live at the border, we've been seeing what New York and other places have been seeing for a long time. And with all due respect, New York and Chicago and Washington, D.C. and Denver are just getting a drop of what we see at the border. But now this feeling is being felt, or this understanding is being felt in other cities. That's one of the reasons why Democrats are getting off their comfort zones and doing some things on the Senate bill that I would have thought that they would never have done some years ago, but because of what's happening in their own backyards, they're willing to get off the comfort zone and say, let's take some tough measures. And one more thing, I want Democrats, I'm a Democrat, I want Democrats to say we can have border security and still respect the immigrant rights. Not too many Democrats talk about border security. And that's one issue politically, if I can move from policy to politics, that's one issue that the Republicans and Donald Trump are doing better than Biden and Democrats on border security.
Democratic Congressman Henry Cuellar of Texas, thank you very much for coming on the show this morning. We appreciate it. And